Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. And in today's video I'll be talking about the top 5 saddest videos on YouTube. If you do enjoy them, please leave a like, and if this gets over 30 likes, I will do a part 2. Alright, here they are. Number 5. Okay, so you all know the king of YouTube, PewDiePie. You probably already know what video this is. It's his Walking Dead episode 5 part 4 final video. Where in this video, towards the end, the little girl you have to look after in this game has to shoot you, as the person you play as gets bit by a zombie and is getting real bad. And he asks if she would shoot him so that he don't hurt her when he actually turns. So she grabs the gun and aims it at him, and she starts crying, then closes her eyes and shoots. But at this point in time, PewDiePie is already starting to cry, and when she's aiming, he actually looks away at the camera, as he is too upset, as in the game, you do actually get quite close to the characters. And anyone who's played this game would know that. Here's the video.
I'll miss you.
Me too.
Oh, fuck that.
Number 4. You all know Boogie2988, as this video he made was so upsetting, as he talks about his dad who just drinks and it was getting to his dad. And he was left a stroke victim, which left his dad to sit at home in a chair, who was deaf and he couldn't talk because he had a stutter. And all he did was stare at the wall, which would be horrible and so upsetting. He also talked about his mom was really sad, and she started going crazy. And so was he, but he wasn't so going crazy, he was just very upset. And he talks about how he never had any friends at school, and they all made fun of him, calling him fat. But it makes you feel happy, as he talks about him being able to go to another school, which he made loads of friends that actually liked him, and they all liked stuff he did. But then it went downhill, as he broke up with his girlfriend, and his dad sadly died of cancer. And then at that time, his mum fell over and broke her leg, but the doctor said it would never heal. But then he started YouTube, and he became very big, and it was his new career that really cheered him up. But then the doctors phoned him and told him his mum was very ill. But as he was heading there, and as soon as he got there, she died. So he planned to kill himself, but his friend and YouTube stopped him. And then he found this girl that he married, and here he is now. So it also sort of ended with a happy ending, but just here's the video.
But by the time I came around, all Dad liked to do was drink, and he liked to drink Pabst Blue Ribbon, and he drank like 20 or 30 of them a day, and that's pretty much all he did. And that's why if you ever meet me, you don't get to buy me a beer, you buy me a Mountain Dew instead. As a kid, I was always pretty much sick. Either it was my allergies or chicken pox or something going on, but I pretty much was always sick. And because I didn't get much physical activity, I also got really fat. Eventually, all that drinking and smoking and coal mining caught up to my dad. Something went wrong in his brain. They called it alcoholic seizures, though it pretty much was just like a stroke, and it left him like a stroke victim. He couldn't work anymore, so it was up to me and my mother to take care of him, and all he did was pretty much sit in his recliner and stare at the wall. He couldn't really communicate. He couldn't hear because he was deaf from working in the mines, and he couldn't talk because of his stutter, and that's really, really sad. Disappeared. And as you can imagine, all this made me really, really sad. I didn't really have any friends at school either, which kind of sucked. The kids at school would call me fat or ugly or gross. 4 eyes, of course, because eventually I got glasses. But the saddest thing to ever happen to me was about to happen. I got a phone call from the hospital, and they told me that my mother was very, very sick. I came to visit her, and while I was there, she died. And this made me sadder than I had ever been, and I really didn't know what to do with myself. So that Christmas, I made plans to kill myself. But I didn't. I didn't because of my friend Adam. I didn't because of YouTube. I didn't because of you. And I decided to stick it out.
Number 3. Number 3 is Wicked Sharpnel, where he talks about his friend that had passed away. His name was Brian, who died in a car accident when he tried to beat a train, but didn't. And he got killed, and so did 2 other people in the car. He had known him for some years now. Here's the video.
Hello, this is Wicked Shrapnel, and I'm very sad to say that a good friend of mine, oh, I can't even say the words. A good friend of mine, Brian, most people know him as Yoteslaya. Died in a car accident last night. He tried to beat a train, and he didn't. He got hit by a train, and him and 2 other people in the car died at the scene. And I've known him for a few years now, and you know, he's not just some guy I heard about on YouTube. I consider him a friend, and he will be dearly missed. So I just want to give my condolences to the family, and it's just really sad. We I don't know.
Number 2. For number 2 is Jacksepticeye. It's where he's playing a game called Dragon Cancer. And this kid has cancer who is going to die, and he's reading the card saying goodbye to the kid, but then Jack starts to talk about when his grandma died. And this video actually made me cry, as this is so sad. As he talks about how he went into the room where his grandma was, and he was with his sister, but his grandma said to his sister, "Is Sean going to come?" Because she had something wrong with her that she just couldn't remember who anybody was. And Jack was sitting right next to her. Jack is also properly called Sean, but he likes to be called Jack. So Sean and Jack are the same people. So while he's there, he's sitting next to her, and she just says to her sister, "When Sean come in, think about how sad that would be next to your own grandma that doesn't even know you anymore." It would be so sad. But yeah, let's just see the video.
My 3-year-old self, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is sad because it reminds me of the last few days when my granny was alive. And she didn't die of cancer or anything, but she was locked away in like a hospital for the last few months of her life, and she didn't really recognize anybody anymore. She was super like aware of everything. Oh God, sorry, that's gonna sound terrible. She was super aware of everything like her entire life, and right up until she went into hospital. But as soon as she went into hospital and she was starting to get treated for I can't remember what it was she had something in her leg that spread through her body and affected her blood, but she was in hospital for a few months before she died, and her mind just completely went. And I remember going in one time with my sister to see her, and we were talking to her, and my granny was like, "Is Sean gonna come in to visit us?" And I was sitting right next to her, and she didn't know who I was. That was really sad. Again, she didn't die of cancer or anything. It's just reminding me of it. And I need to move on or I won't be able to move on. It's just reading all the notes is really sad. And I feel sorry for anyone who has lost family or loved ones. Just in general, but especially to cancer. Because it's not a nice thing. And the last while with someone who has cancer is not nice either. Okay. I'm sorry about knocking over the mic as well. I grabbed my sleeve and I hit the mic. I can see the waveform right now and it's just a giant spike. I'm sorry guys, it's not good.
Number 1. For number 1, I put Syndicate's bad news video, where he talks about his fan that had cancer, and he was going to die. But Syndicate spent lots of his time making the last few days of this kid's life the best he had ever had. But the kid had still quite a while before he was predicted to die. But he died a couple of days later, and Syndicate just talks about it, and he gets so upset. It really made me upset. Here it is.
Emotional upset now because I got a bubble in my nose. Try that one again. I'm all emotional upset right now because I just did a video for Alec and his family because if you guys remember, I did a Make-A-Wish when I went to E3 2016 and I had the pleasure of going out there with Xbox and they organised me doing a Make-A-Wish. And the Make-A-Wish was to go and hang out with Alec for a day. He could choose to do anything he wanted in the world, like absolutely anything. He could have gone travel the world, he could have gone here, could have done that. But instead, Alec, who was fighting a battle with cancer, chose to spend his day with me. Now, the day we spent with each other was absolutely amazing. We played video games, we hooked him up with a lot of Xbox swag, like we had a really good time, and like we hung out, and he was absolutely amazing kid. Like, I loved him to pieces, and like, honestly, you would never even have thought, like, in the mindset he was in, that he was having the battles he was having with cancer, and like, his parents were cool, everything was awesome, and I had a great time hanging out with him. I wasn't happy enough with the amount of time we spent with each other. I was like, right, I want to spend more time with this kid because he's absolutely amazing. Like, he'd rocking the Syndicate original swag. He lived by the motto of life's too short, make the most of it. And he was just so tuned in to being this super cool kid. So the next day I organised us going on a helicopter flight, which if you guys saw in the vlog, I took his dad and me and Alec up in a helicopter. We flew all around Los Angeles and checked it all out from above, and he absolutely loved it and he absolutely enjoyed it. You know, he was telling me about, like, when we went for dinner, this drink that he has to drink, which is like beetroots and carrots and ginger, and it's to help him get better and flush out all the toxins in his body and stuff. And you know, I promised him that I was going to drink one of these drinks if he made sure he drank them on a daily basis, and then that's why I made the video of me drinking it, because everyone was like, why are you drinking this fucking drink? And I did that because I promised Alex that I would do it, because he promised me he would drink them as well, and we stuck to our promise and we did it. And he was an amazing kid. Like, he was getting into making YouTube videos, he was doing vlogging, he was posting gaming videos, and you guys showed him so much support. Like, you guys really, thank you. Like, really, thank you for being such an amazing audience. You were there for Alec when you needed us. Like, we were watching his videos, we supporting him in his comments. Like, he'd text me being like, oh, I'm drinking this disgusting juice, or I'm doing this today, I'm doing that today, and I'd just always be interact with him. And then when I wasn't there and I was sleeping on the different time schedule zones, you guys were there for him as well. And it was awesome to know that as a community, we were there for each other. Like, you guys were there for me when I lost my grandma, and it was just, it's just crazy to think that, unfortunately, Alex has lost. Man up, because Alex will be laughing.
Man, that was sad. But if you enjoyed, please leave a like, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!